Welcome to the Not Superheroes Gets Dads podcast. No, we can't fly. No, we can't shoot lasers or pick up giant buildings. But what we can do is help set the foundations for our families, be present for our kids, and combat generational cycles. On this podcast, we dive into everything dad related, from the struggles we deal with as fathers to what our favorite thing to barbecue is. Hello, I'm Sean Laurie. Hope you guys are having an amazing, blessed day today. Man, we actually had some crazy weather a little while ago, which actually kind of freaked my family out, from us being from California. But we're all good. But before we dive into it, right? Yeah, it was scary. It kind of freaked us out. But
I bet. Those
um,
are crazy storms y'all get down there.
yeah, man, that was probably the worst ones that we experienced. But we're all good, y'all. Some rain, like yep. In Texas, the thunderstorms are really thunderstorms out here. So,
Yeah.
but before we dive into it, make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. You guys know I appreciate the support. Now, as we get ready to dive into it, I'm excited to have the co-host or one of the hosts for Why Dad, hosted with Paul, right? I think I said it correctly. And I have the other co-host, Andrew. And I'm excited because I got to speak with them for a little bit, and I thought Andrew's story was amazing, and just him being an amazing person as well. So I appreciate you coming on, man. How are you doing
Thank you
today?
so much. Yeah, I appreciate you. Um, I'm so excited and happy to be on this. Like you said, after our conversation, saw that our two podcasts, really align, and I'm excited to get you on ours in the coming future.
Yeah,
But when you extended that invite, I was very grateful and honored. So I'm very blessed to be here with you today.
I appreciate it, man. So I like to do icebreakers. I'm not gonna hit you with no crazy haymaker,
We'll do
right?
that
So
to you too. Don't worry.
um, I guess since we did mention the podcast, what does the title "Why Dad" mean to you beyond the podcast name?
Beyond the podcast. Good question. So we chose that title to have two meanings, and obviously, I should preface this: I'm not a dad yet. I'm a full-time uncle.
Hmm.
I'm trying to become a dad. So we'll get into that in just a second
Yeah,
for this question. But what's the most common question you hear from your kids? Why is the sky blue, Dad? Why is the
yeah,
grass green?
yeah,
Why, Dad? Why? Why?
yeah,
They're just these little quote unquote philosophical machines trying to figure out the world, and why is the best
yeah.
question to ask. So we
True.
wanted to turn that on ourselves. Like, why
Mm,
am I a dad? Why do I want to be a dad? Why be a dad at all?
true. True. Very good question. That's true,
So
huh?
so that's, for me, I'm in the stage of, why do I want to be a dad? And I'm figuring that out, and I'm walking that path. I know I want to be, but why? You know?
Mm,
So
I like that. I like that. Now, like you say, you mentioned your nieces and nephew. How many altogether?
there's five.
Oh my gosh, bless your heart.
Yeah, so
I,
they live full time with me right now.
okay, because I have four in this tough. So
You're fine.
five is man. So how long have they been with you?
So they've been with me for 3 years, almost
Okay.
3 years. My brother went through a really bad divorce. My
Mm,
mom was uh, alcoholic,
yeah.
addict, and abusive, so he had to get the kids out.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
with us, yeah, with
Yeah.
me,
No, that's
and like, it's given me like that um, free trial period into I have some of the responsibilities, but not all. But I'm learning and watching my brother
mm,
go through all this, and it becomes a topic of conversation on the podcast a lot. So
yeah.
it's given me that insight into your life, Sean, like
Yeah.
what you have to deal with day in and day out, and
Yeah.
yeah, so it keeps that question like, why, why do I want to be a dad even after all this?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, does it get like, do you sometimes feel yourself kind of, well, how old are they
The
actually?
oldest is 13, and the
Oh,
youngest is 6.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So you get all. So is there ever times where you're just like almost overwhelmed in a sense?
Yeah. Short answer. um, thankfully, my parents are pretty involved in the grandkids' lives, my niece and
Okay.
nephews' lives. Um, my brother does have to travel for work quite a bit, so
Mm.
the harder parts come when he's out traveling and they're missing dad, and it's towards that point where he's almost home,
Yeah.
and it just gets hectic. Uh,
Mm.
um, they're trying to process through their traumatic experience of
Yeah.
life,
Absolutely.
um, and figuring out what their life is going to look like going forward. I'm surprised the kids even think about that type of stuff, but
Mm.
with what they've been through, they do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I've had conversations with my nieces about that. They just will randomly come up and start talking about something, and I
Yeah.
just sit there and listen to it, and
Yeah.
ask them those questions like, okay, so what do you want? What do you think? What would you like this doll to be?
Mm.
Um, Trying to understand like what's going on inside their head.
Yeah.
But yeah, towards the Thursday nights are usually when he gets home. So Thursdays are usually like the harder days.
Okay.
One, I have my own podcast to record on
Yeah.
Thursdays, so it's like
It's crazy.
yeah, like you said just a few minutes ago, you had to get the dog out, get food on the table, make sure
Yeah.
the missus is okay, and
Yeah.
for me, it's okay. Get the dogs out, get the kids fed, make sure the alarms are set on the TVs so that way when
Yeah.
they go off, they know to go straight to bed,
Yeah.
or say their prayers or and brush their teeth.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does get overwhelmed sometimes. If it's that's where I always like reflect. If it's that much for me, you have to do that every day.
Yeah.
So that's being part of this fatherhood community.
Yeah.
Not being a father, I've been able to draw on you, on Paul. He's got
Yeah.
2 kids, and just see how you all are dealing with that. Taking what's working, applying it right now in my life, so that way I can
Mm.
shape what I want my fatherhood to be
Yeah.
to my future kids. So
Yeah. I like
that's
that.
what keeps me going a lot.
No, I like that because I was just gonna ask you by helping raise your nieces and nephews,
Hmm.
how has that changed your view on fatherhood?
Yeah, it's immensely. um, uh, what single unmarried guy has actual practical concrete ideas of what they want their fatherhood to be? It's all idealistic, and I want my kid to play basketball with me every night. We're gonna
Yeah.
have just a blast, and you don't even think about the struggles that they
Mm.
have to go through, and that the struggles that they're going through cause you,
Yeah.
and how are you even supposed to deal with that? You can't
Mm.
even, you can barely deal with your own. Now you got to help a kid walk through that,
True.
get through
True.
theirs.
Yeah.
So
No.
it's been a very overall great experience despite the
Yeah.
circumstances. I love these kids so much,
Yeah.
um, and they've changed my life in such a drastic, dramatic way.
Yeah.
Um, Seeing them just going forward through this darkness in their life and still trying to live their life to the fullest and find that happiness. So,
No, I love that, bro. Because I look at it like you said, man. There's in fatherhood there's some highs and there's some lows, right? But
hmm
like the highs of fatherhood, I think outweigh right the lows. But there's times where especially and I'm sure you're seeing that too, like especially with your 13-year-old. Your 13-year-old is a
yeah,
preteen, right?
yeah,
So it's one of those times where they're gonna test you, or they're gonna push certain limits, or they're gonna right, and like those maybe are the low points because it could be something as silly as I don't know, don't hang out at your friend's house too late or something like that, right?
hmm
Whatever the case is. But then there's those moments where they get an award and you're at the school celebrating with them, right? So it's just like
right.
it's so many ups and downs, but it's one of those things that I'm sure you feel the same way. You know, you wouldn't have traded for the world, and at the end of the day, your nieces and nephews are always going to remember this. I call it like
Right.
core memories. You're going to be a big part of their core memories, which I think is amazing.
It's amazing. It's a little humbling too,
Mm,
for me at least, and
yeah,
because I'm trying to live my own life at the same time. They got our lives are intersected right now, so we're all just trying to make each other's lives that much more amazing and memorable. And just knowing that my daily life does have some impact, and I'm hoping it's positive
yeah,
on them,
yeah,
and I can help them change who they are to be better. Because that goes back to like the whole premise of the Why Dad podcast. It's we need to be ask ourselves. That's the other question. I'm bouncing all over, Sean, but
no, no, no worries,
this is where it's taking me. this is
no,
where,
no worries, man.
the last part of bringing up that name was basically like, how was I just going to put this? But answering the whys through the hows, like why should I be a better man? Why should I be a better husband? Why should I be a better father? And going straight into the hows and the who's and the what's, and so really just if I want my nieces and nephews to push themselves to be better, I have to be pushing myself better, and they've
Mm,
got to be seeing that.
absolutely, no,
So
that's true. That's true, man. So what has being a full time uncle slash dad in a sense, right? What has that taught you about, especially in these 3 years, about patience, number one, and then two, the sacrifice.
a lot about patience. I Paul and I recently started a little men's group, and that was my big point. Was these next couple months, my resolution is patience because they're figuring this out. They could come to me with a problem, and I know the answer halfway through their sentence,
Yeah.
and it's easy for me to react to what they're saying rather than taking that moment to reflect
Mm,
and like, okay, where's their state of mind at, like what's really going on here, um, are they reacting, how can I help them reflect, and so it just makes me take a moment to stop, press pause,
yeah.
and really look at myself first.
Mm,
What's my first action going to be? To react to whatever's going on. If it's a happy moment, that's great, but yeah, if it's one
yeah.
of those low moments that is trying your patience,
Yeah.
like, do I just need to walk outside real quick and then come back and address the situation? So it's really taught me a lot about myself in that realm of patience, and just learning to not react
Mm,
and be more intentional and focused and reflective on learning what the whole situation is.
yeah. Yeah.
With regards to sacrifice, my eyes have been opened.
Mm,
You know, when you're a little kid and you look at your dad, you don't see all the sacrifices that your dad has done for you.
true.
Your
True.
life is good. You have a roof over your head, you have food on the table, you've got toys and games and friends. Like, what more do you need as a kid, right?
Yeah. No care in the world.
Right. Now, as an adult and having children in my life 24/7, I've come to appreciate more and more my own father. I've always loved him and always appreciated him, and I understand him more.
Mm,
Um, and it's taught me to value his sacrifices, to learn that there is no life without some type of pain or discomfort,
yeah.
or people want to view it as that, you know. And there was a third thing that I just thought about. Now it slipped my mind. But that good comes from that that sacrifice, and that I'm going to have to make choices now with children, with these children in my lives that, to me personally, are I'm giving up something good, but I'm giving up my personal good for the good of these children. And so having to, make sure my priorities are now in a line is in a sense a sacrifice according to what they need.
Yeah.
So really to value that and to be grateful for the when those moments arise,
Yeah. No, I like that, bro. I like that. I was gonna ask you too, because well, you said a couple of things, but the first thing that I want to ask, because you was talking about just not being so quick to react at times, and so I wanted to ask you like, what are some ways I guess kids communicate emotionally that we as adults, as fathers, uncle fathers, right, stepfathers, whatever, that we often miss.
So it's easier for me to answer this question with a couple of my nieces and nephews because they're both on the autistic spectrum. And
Okay.
so it's really hard to try to figure out like what's going on.
Mm,
Um, a lot of it is with these kids, they're just looking to spend time with me. And they could be like, "Hey, Uncle Andrew, this, Uncle Andrew, that," and it gets annoying, and you're just like, "Leave me
yeah.
alone." It's like, no,
Yeah.
they're looking to me because they want to spend that time to me. And there's been a couple times that I walked away and I stepped back and I'm like, Phil just wanted to play this board game with me, you know? Like,
Yeah.
so I'll be like, all right, go get the board game, we're gonna play. You know,
Yeah.
it took me a minute to register that he just wanted to play checkers or
Mm,
sorry or something like that.
yeah.
He, because I'm always so busy, he's afraid to straight up ask, like, can I have
Yeah.
10 minutes of your time to play a
Yeah.
game? But he loves to ask questions or just chit chat, and when he gets really chatty, he just wants someone just to play with him.
Yeah. Of course. Of
Um,
course.
so there's that. Even in like with the girls when they get quiet or really like into books, at least these girls do. Um, they love to read. Sometimes reading's there. I need to escape from the family because something's going on
Mm,
inside of me, and so just trying to figure out like, okay, is this one of those times where they're just reading because they're liking it, or is there stuff going? It's
mm,
navigating, just trying to read their silent emotions, really.
yeah. 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 I like that, man. So basically, paying attention to the small things because my youngest tech, we're pretty confident. We're waiting for the test, but he's on the spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's certain ways he communicates. But all my kids do that, right? Like you said, some have some that get silent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have some that lash out, right?
Yep.
So it's like, okay, why is this? And then
Yeah.
I make them at times get uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
right? And have them understand. So my youngest at times, he wants to lash out, get mad, wants to throw things, hit. So I have to pull him to the side, tell him why does he feel that way, right? And
Right.
force him to express it, right? Where he wants to give me only a couple word answers. I'm
Right.
like, no, tell me. And then, right, because you have siblings, and the siblings want to talk for him.
Mm-hmm.
Let him get it out. So it's because me, especially in my faith, I believe like, hey, this is not going to limit you, right? We're going to work through
Right.
this together, and we're going to break certain barriers, and we're going to break certain things that whatever people are trying to say is not going to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like the fact that you said too, hey, you know what, they just want my time, or
Yeah.
yes, at times they're talking, right, and it's like, oh my gosh, they keep talking, 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 right? But even if it's like, okay, they're just talking about the birds outside, and you're
Right.
like, I'm not even that interested, but you just pretending as far as, oh, really? Okay, why is that? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. And then they just, right? We know adults like that, right? Where we
Right.
could say
Yeah.
one word and then they just go off, and we're just like, oh,
That's so
all right,
true.
right? So we're just like, so why? Wait, so why did that happen? And instead of just telling you like, oh, I forgot my wallet, they go through the whole story before they get to that. And you're just like, all right.
Yeah, it's like, so did you forget your wallet or not? Oh yeah, I left it in my pocket, in my pants. And that,
You're like, okay. But yeah, that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you don't finish, please.
No, no, I was just gonna say no. So I think that's just dope that you do that, or you catch yourself, because again, we're not perfect,
Right.
right? We're trying to figure these things out, and you're navigating through this, and this is new. Like 3 years ago, you didn't have 5 kids. You were helping take care of,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So it's not even like you got to, okay, I have one kid here. All right. I know not to do that with the next one, right? Like it's
Right.
like, here's five. Good luck.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Um, but to your point about talking to your son, getting him to explain it, I found that to be very actually effective
Yeah.
with my nephew that's on the spectrum,
Hmm.
um, because he's the same, lashes out,
Yeah.
very quick.
The dog said, I don't.
I told you that was gonna happen.
Hey, yeah. Oh, they got turned up.
Yep. I think there might be a rabbit outside in the yard. But he's already very curious. And so, yeah, when he gets angry, I'll call him down from his room or wherever he's at,
Hmm.
and I'll ask him, like, what do you? I'll have to point to his heart, like, what are you feeling right here?
Mm,
Because if I don't do that, he'll try to, based on their past, like he'll try to tell me things he knows I want to hear.
yeah.
Like that, if he says certain words, then they fly over smoothly. But
Yeah.
then he doesn't have to explain himself more. But
Mm,
yeah, I'll point to his heart, and I'll
hmm.
say, "Tell me what's going on. Like, what are you feeling right here? Because I want to
Hmm.
know." And with him, it's I don't know. That's his most common answer.
Yeah.
But you just keep asking. I have to keep asking him that question. Like, well, what do you think?
Hmm.
Getting him to just stop, and one, it helps him like get regulated. But then he's
Yeah.
actually thinking like, well, maybe this or that, or maybe I didn't want to do the right thing. I was like, well, I don't know if you can really say that because
Yeah.
you're just a kid. But I
Yeah.
like where your mind's at on that right
Yeah.
now. Um, and then twisting that around, like, okay, what you just did to your sister, if she did that to you, how would that make you feel? And, oh, I'd
Yeah.
be really mad, Like, so are you? So, do you think she's okay in being mad then after what you did to her? Yeah.
Yeah.
so, so I found that to be, especially with the boys, pretty effective on
Yeah.
getting them to stop and think. And the kids, so they'll go like 2 days doing really well, and then that happens again, and
Oh, of course. Yeah.
repeat the process. Like they're
Yeah.
learning, they're getting through this.
100%. And that doesn't matter if it's spectrum or not. That's just kids. They're
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
they're gonna argue. They're gonna fight. That's just that's them, and that's them figuring it out, right?
Hmm.
Like figuring out what boundaries can I push, which
Yep.
ones, So that's all part of them learning as well. And I want to ask you because you mentioned earlier about excuse me, your appreciation of your dad,
Yeah.
right? What he went through and stuff. So that's what I want to ask you. Like, what role did he play in your life to shape you to be not only the man that you are today, but also your parenting style?
Hmm. Oh, I don't know if the rest of the podcast could just be about this question,
Hey,
Sean.
that's
Yeah.
that's that's perfectly fine with me.
Um, I was very blessed to have the parents that I do. I know that's not the case for everybody, and I like
Yeah.
to acknowledge that when we start these types of
Hmm.
conversations. Um, but God really blessed me with a great man for a dad, and I he he and I have like this weird bond that's so like that we're not allowed to be on the same team for like family game nights because we have kind of like that telepathic. We're both the middle of three boys, and we just
Mm.
understand each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but my dad has 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 been and still is the man that, whether in the workplace, in the family, um, amongst his friends, a big giver of himself, so
Mm.
that way those around him can experience, joy, happiness, find a better perspective on life. Um, we're a very, very Christian family. He wants everyone to, whether says the name of Jesus or not,
Yeah.
like he wants them through himself to be that instrument of the Holy Spirit, that they feel God whether they realize it or not. That's been a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
He's a joker, but he gives 110% of himself, like
That's amazing.
every moment of the day,
Yeah.
every day of his life, and that's something that stuck through with me.
Mm.
Like I said, I didn't realize the sacrifices he had to make. Once I moved off for college, a lot of stuff started making sense,
Yeah.
and seeing what he had to do to send me to some of the Christian schools I went to, just so I could have a better education and a better chance at life.
Yeah.
Um, it's those things. Like I said, I could talk about my dad for hours
Yeah.
and hours.
Amazing.
Just how great of a man he is, and the way he loves my mom.
That's I like because most, so don't lose your train of thought, but you just
Okay.
made me think right now. Because most men, I feel like that struggle when it comes to relationships or things like that,
Yeah.
and vice versa, same thing, right? But I think that's a key component, right, of seeing how did you treat my mom, right, or whoever you were with, right? And so I say that because I'm very conscious of that for my girls
Yeah.
and for my boys. So my boys know if I'm at the grocery store, they see flowers, hey, go get mom flowers, right? Because they've seen me do it. So, and it's rare that I hear men point that out. So that's pretty dope. But go
Yeah.
ahead, continue. I just had to
No,
say it.
that's been a huge one. So they've been married almost 50 years now,
Mm,
and they still do date nights.
that's amazing.
And I'm not saying, I remember being a kid that there was arguments and fights and
Yeah, of
whatnot, and
course. Yeah,
nothing obscene, but
yeah, yeah,
they're both very strong-willed people.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, they still loved each other with
Mm,
everything.
yeah.
And that, when one of them was wrong, they would apologize and they'd work something out.
Mm,
And that's really shaped a lot because he's given his whole life to my mom.
mm-hmm,
He's given his whole life to me and my brothers.
mm-hmm.
And to me, it's just like I want to be like that. He's happy.
Yeah,
He um he he loves to work. He loves to be around people. I'm a little bit socially awkward at times, but I got my dad to turn to.
yeah.
When I was in college, he would call me every day at lunchtime,
Mm,
and just to chat, just to see how I was
yeah,
doing, things like that. And that really stuck with me too. I want to be that involved in my kids' life, even
yeah,
when they're adults.
yeah, yeah. I like that, man. And
Just someone,
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
just someone like my dad, that if he didn't call me at noon, you know, 12:05, I was calling him like, you're late to the call. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. No, I just love that too because, right, like people, I think people have like either a fantasy when it comes to marriage or
hmm
they just get scared with marriage, right? And so like
Yeah.
you said, you saw, right, you're not trying to paint a picture of like, no, hey, my parents had disagreements, hey, they have their ups and downs.
hmm
But at the end of the day, like not just your dad, but your mom too, of course, like
Yeah.
they fought for that marriage, right? They fought for their family.
Exactly.
And that's a beautiful thing, and that's something you was able to firsthand witness, right?
hmm
And so you could see like, well, my parents had a disagreement, but like they still worked on it, right? They still
Yeah.
fought on it. They took those vows seriously,
hmm
right? And so I want to ask you because you did mention your faith. How has what role does that play in your life as a man overall? Like, what does that look like for you?
It's
I'm sorry,
essential
man.
for
I
me.
got these
No,
questions
no, I
ready
like
for you.
you. You're going deep, and I love it. If I love getting to the deep stuff because it makes me reevaluate myself, even though I
Yeah,
know. Like
yeah,
sitting here talking to you, I'm thinking like, well, okay, I have to pick out, and
yeah.
this is so hard to do. My faith is integral to who I am as a man. Um,
Mm,
and I don't bring it up a lot in the podcast because to me, in my podcast, because we're trying to talk in universals.
Yeah.
So when we're giving our advice, so you can't say, like, you know, if someone doesn't believe in God, you can't be like, you need to start believing in
Yeah,
Jesus. And
yeah, of
so,
course.
but Paul and I do bring up, like, how essential it is for me to be my true self and
Mm,
live my life
yeah,
accordingly.
yeah.
So I, I struggled with it a little bit. So I was in Catholic seminary. I was actually studying to be a priest for a while.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Um, and then I discerned out of that, and I struggled a little bit with my faith after that.
Mm,
And it was probably like 4 or 5 years. And I just came to that realization I'm not being true to who I am. Something's missing.
mm,
And so I went more on a philosophical rather than theological approach, like trying to
yeah.
figure out, okay, what's the purpose of this? What's really going to bring me happiness? And it just brought me back to my faith in Jesus
Mm,
Christ. And um, so living out what He's given to us in the gospel, like
yeah.
what He's given us the roadmap to being the best man possible.
Yes, I agree. I agree, man. No, that's I love it, man. Because yeah, I just asked that because as people know, I'm a believer as well. I don't
Hmm.
necessarily run from it, I
Right.
guess, but I'm for sure I'm not hiding from it either, right? I let people
Yeah.
know, hey, I believe in God, and um uh hold on, huh? No, you're not. Why are you asking me that? Uh, I can't. Kid gonna come in here. I keep hearing him. He's gonna ask me if he can go to his friend's house right now. No, like I'm not going to your friend's house.
Right.
Uh, sorry, y'all. That's
Hey,
just that's just the life of a dad.
I was just gonna say it's a dad podcast for a reason.
Yeah, that's why you came in here to ask me that right now. But anywho, no, I'm a big believer in that, and I've had for me personally, I've had some crazy encounters.
Hmm.
Right? There's so many different things that guys did in my life and when I haven't deserved it,
Right.
right? And so yeah, I wanted to ask you that because I know you're a fellow believer as well.
Yep.
So that's dope, man. That's amazing to hear. But I want to also, as we get ready to close out, right? Like, what is something? There's two things. So
Okay.
what's one thing that you learned from your nieces and nephews that you realized you had to relearn?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, wow, I haven't thought about this at all. Give me a second here.
Yeah, no worries, no
Um,
worries.
I
If
probably,
you want, oh, okay, go ahead, go ahead.
off the top of my head, I'd
Yeah.
probably have to just go with that whole patience thing. I've been so used
Mm,
to dealing with logical human beings,
hmm.
and if kids are anything, they're not logical for the
Yeah,
most part. Um, so just circling back to that patience and trying to understand how these little things think and why is there so much emotion coming out of this 3 foot tall, you know,
yeah,
boy right here? Like,
yeah,
what's going on?
yeah.
Um, so it's really made me have to relearn patience, a different level of my own self control,
Mm,
and a different level of empathy. Because it's a lot easier to be empathetic with my peers at work when we're going, I can understand more where they're coming from with my nieces and nephews. It's a different thing every day, but there's still that same. It's harder for me to relate to what's
yeah,
going on in their lives, and so,
yeah,
but I'm this supposed to be this good role model and source of knowledge and answers for them because that's, I mean, part of what an uncle does.
yeah.
Um, and it's taught me how to. So I didn't have to relearn this, but I had to learn it for the first time.
Mm,
How to not conflict with my brother's parenting style and rules and complement it instead.
yeah, yeah. I can only imagine that. Yeah, because that's a fine line for sure.
Hmm.
That's a fine.
Paul and I talked a little bit about this, and we're all uh, we actually on our episode we just dropped this week.
Hmm.
Um, it takes a village, and we
Yes.
expect all the good people we want in our kids' lives to be a part of their lives, and that does mean that sometimes having to make these corrections, correcting our kids, instructing them on some things, but it has to be done in a way that they're used to and receptive towards. Because
Yeah.
if I went upstairs right now and I started telling the kids to do certain things a certain way, like, well, Dad wants us to do it this way. I mean, if
Mm,
Dad said that, he's got a reason and a purpose for teaching you what he's teaching you, and I don't want
yeah.
to interfere with that.
Yeah. And that can get tricky,
Hmm.
but I feel like that's also good when right, those are one of those things when you get into a relationship and things like that, right? You're not going to always agree on everything, right?
Right.
When you do finally, so even though obviously it's with your brother helping him, but when you have your own family,
Hmm.
right, you kind of set the rules how you want to and figure out, okay, like, mom wants it this way, but I want it this way. So what middle ground can we come to?
Right.
Right. And so in the sense that's good. So that's actually a good segue to my last question.
Okay.
You're in a rare situation where you literally get to have a trial run as a father,
Hmm.
right? So if I was able to magically put a baby like that's your child before you start raising your niece and nephew, right? And then and then fast forward years later, you have a child with your significant other. I guess my question to you is, what version will they get before your nieces and nephews to now?
Oof. They would get a clueless, um, lost, and but someone that wants, they would someone that's scared in a sense too.
Mm,
Like, what am I supposed to do with this baby? How do I figure this out?
yeah,
Where do I go from here? Having nieces and nephews full time, they just jumped into my life.
yeah,
Like I said, there's certain responsibilities I don't have to worry about with them.
yeah,
I'm a part of their lives. I can choose when to be directly influencing their lives and when not to, and I can live my own life. But like if I had that baby, like that baby stuck with me, and we're on the adventure together. We're gonna figure. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm sorry, but you and I are gonna figure this out
yeah,
together. I think at the end of the day, we would arrive to the same point just
yeah.
because of the values and virtues that I hold as like core principles in my life.
Hmm.
It would just be a way crazier journey.
Yeah. No, I believe it. So now we fast forwarded, let's say 3 years from now, or
Hmm.
whenever God blesses you to have that family. What version of a father would that child get now?
He would still get a scared dad because this is my own,
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're never
but
prepared.
right. But now I've got confident. Now I'm confident that if I could do it as a part-time job and be good
Yeah.
at it, I think I can tackle this as a full-time job.
Yeah.
And confident to know when I don't know the answers and to turn to guys like you and Paul to be like, "Hey, I need your help."
Yeah.
And
I
because the
like that.
before, that's going to be the other difference. The before, I might ask like mom and dad for help, but I don't know who else to turn to out there. And now
Yeah.
after all of this, just having building up my own family community, but a broader community as well.
Yeah. That's dope.
Hmm.
I like that. I like that, man. Yeah. Now, like you said, now you're not, because especially as I can't necessarily speak for you, but a lot of us as men, we get prideful too, right?
Yep.
And then like, I mean, I don't want to ask like this is silly. Like you said, I'll ask my parents because they're not
Right.
gonna care, right? But someone else, I don't know. So that's amazing, man. That you said that. I'm always big on giving flowers. I think I've told you all this before,
You
but
did, yeah.
one, I do want to say I appreciate you coming on, man, and sharing your story. I think that's amazing. And then I just wanted to also just say that one, your nieces and nephews are definitely blessed to have you.
Thank you.
It's not easy, of course, I know. But I'm also excited for when you do, have your own family that you expand on. Man, your kids, I'm just thinking about how blessed they're going to be because of not only you're getting this trial run, but your father already set that foundation for you, right? And so I can just tell by your spirit and by the way you carry yourself that, man, not only your nieces and nephews, but your future child is going to be so blessed. And it's going to probably, not probably, is going to accomplish many amazing things because they're going to have you in their corner. So,
That's my hope. That's my goal. I know
yeah, yeah,
we
man.
you talked about the highs and lows, and we're only
Yeah,
men, so
yeah,
I know I didn't really talk about getting into the darker points or my own faults, but I have them. This
yeah.
wasn't all just I don't have that perfect life, but
Oh, of
I
course,
mess
man.
up all the time. But
Yeah, yeah.
I really do appreciate that, Sean, and that is my goal and hope and aspiration is to have
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. And the fact that you can own up to your mistakes, that right there says how amazing you're going to be, right? So at the end of the day, it's hard for us at times to own up, man, dang, I screwed up right here.
Right.
Right? So the fact that you're able to do that already, one, that says your nieces and nephews definitely been working with you, right? Like,
Yes, yes.
they're gonna force you to be like, oh, dang, I was wrong, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, man, I just wanted to thank you for that, for your time. Um, and then also before too, man, let the people
Yeah.
know, where they can follow you. Is it just Why Dad? Is it other social media outlets or what?
So we are primarily on, well, our podcast is on wherever you get your podcasts. So
Okay.
the Why Dad Podcast, and our website's thewhydadpodcast.com.
Okay.
But yeah, anywhere you get podcasts, you can find us there. We've only been doing this for a year, so we're still babies in this whole thing. But we're just chronicling our journeys, and Facebook and Instagram right now is the social medias we're on. So
All right. All right. So that works. So I'm gonna make sure I put all his information or their information, guys. Sorry, on YouTube, on Apple, Spotify, all that stuff. And are you directly on Facebook too, or?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so I'll make sure I'll put him on or I'll get his Facebook stuff as well. If you guys want to follow his uh, unique journey as well, to see what he's doing, man. But again, I appreciate you for coming out.
Sean, this has been an honor and a lot of fun. I told you offline, but this is the first time I've gone solo on a podcast, and
Yeah,
I am very grateful I got to have the honor to do it with you. This has
yeah,
been
man.
You made it that much better, and so
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
I appreciate all the work you're doing with your podcasts. I love the work. I love just like I said, our we align in so many things,
Yeah,
and I can't wait till we get you on ours because it's gonna
yeah.
be another great episode.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. And guys, like always, you don't have to be perfect, but you always have to be present. I'll see you guys on the next
Love
one.
that.